Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Ava slaps Harris. Paulina's a medical procedure deferred. Wendy's hack offer. Days of Our Lives uncovers that Chad DiMera found Everett Lynch composing his acquiescence letter, so that prompted a contention about Chad's family dedication and editorial honesty. Everett thought that everything should be included because it was part of the story, despite Chad's assertion that it would have been different if the police had actually discovered something at the bistro during the raid. After Chad made a deal to avoid impacting future stories, Everett concluded he would remain as opposed to leaving as expected. Next on Trip Johnson was occupied when he should assist Stephanie Johnson and Wendy Shin with arranging the geocaching forager chase. Stephanie accepted this was about Trip's mother, so he got anxious until Stephanie made sense of that she was helping Ava Vitale, Tamara Braun, handle the PR emergency at the bistro. After Stephanie left on Thursday's DOL show, Wendy proposed to attempt to hack the bistro's POS framework and see what she could figure it out, yet Trip didn't need Wendy included. Truth be told, Trip appeared to be worried about Wendy being sincerely associated with the child of Ava Vitale, however she cherished him regardless and realized he was his own individual. While Trip conveyed Wendy to the room for some enthusiasm, Sloan Peterson Brady appeared at the Salem PD to act as Ava and Stephen DiMera's legal advisor. Rafe Hernandez and Harris Michaels questioned Stephen and Ava about their visits to Clyde Weston at Statesville. Ava admitted that Clyde went after Trip to get her to work for him, but she lied about turning him down and said she could be pretty convincing. Stephen claimed that he ripped into Clyde over what happened to Abigail DiMera. Sloan insisted that her clients were leaving because the police were not arresting them, despite Harris pointing out Ava's deception and acting as though this was bordering on harassment. After Ava said she needed to talk with Harris secretly, she overlooked Sloan and Stefan's endeavors to work her out of it. He urged Ava to confess and promised to assist her once Harris was alone with her. Ava argued that if Harris backtracked, everyone would benefit, but Harris refused because he loved her. At the point when Harris maneuvered Ava into a kiss, she responded it. Back at the Onlooker, Everett conversed with Chad about the geocaching scrounger chase, which the paper was supporting notwithstanding Xander Cook's protests. After Everett's supper at Stephanie's place came up, Chad appeared to be interested, however, he explained that he wasn't desirous. Chad wished Everett and Stephanie well, regardless of whether they chose to remain friends or pursue other interests. Everett expressed gratitude toward Chad for being so cool about it, so Stephanie strolled in and considered what they were referring to. When Everett lied that it was the geocaching scrounger chase, he got a notice about Ava and Stephen being examined at the police headquarters. Everett expected Chad wouldn't see any problems assuming he went there to examine, so Chad affirmed he didn't before Everett left. Stephanie got some information about, so Chad admitted the most recent Stephen show and the conflict he had with Everett. Since Stephanie was doing PR for the bistro now, she was satisfied Chad had excluded the cafe in the medication attack story, particularly since the police tracked down nothing. Chad likewise conceded that Everett was a very hero now that he'd become more acquainted with him, so Stephanie was happy they were maintaining order. The discussion wrapped up with Stephanie embracing Chad, who appeared to be somewhat contemplative. Back at the Salem PD on Day's episode, Ava created a situation by slapping Harris over the kiss. That created an upheaval before Ava said Rafe ought to advise his police to keep their damn hands off her, so Sloan recommended documenting a grumbling. Ava simply needed to leave and began heading for the entryway. Everett attempted to get Stephen to respond to his inquiries, yet Sloan ended up giving him a statement about how ineffectively the police were taking care of everything. Concerning Rafe, he faced Harris over his unseemly direct with Ava and certainly didn't look cheerful. In the town square on T, Johnny DiMera astonished Chanel Dupree with her new wedding band since it was prepared sooner than expected. It was a colossal blue jewel encompassed by Venetian glass since Johnny needed something extraordinary and to recollect their time in Italy. Johnny likewise name-dropped that this uncommon stone once graced Elizabeth Taylor's finger. In Paulina Value's office, Chanel flaunted her new bling and left her mother screeching with joy. Since Valentine's Day was not too far away, Paulina began making a variety of wedding plans. Nonetheless, the state of mind turned grave after Paulina got refreshes from her oncologist, who called with the news that her medical procedure wasn't occurring for around 2 months. Johnny proposed to make some things happen to knock up the timetable, yet Paulina said it was fine regardless of how restless she appeared. Paulina insisted on celebrating with Chanel, Johnny, and Abe Carver, James Reynolds, tonight, arguing that doing so would allow her to concentrate on the wedding. Horton house fire, Valentine's surprises, and Harris's hospital crisis from Days of Our Lives reveal that Salem is in for some exciting developments. Paulina still faces challenges related to her health. February breads will bring a few wild turns and heartfelt achievements, so here's a review of what DOL fans can anticipate. Let's begin by discussing some Valentine's Day surprises. On account of Stephanie Johnson, Wendy Shin, and Trip Johnson's preparation, the geocaching scrounger chase will be a hit. Days is truly hyping this forager chase as nothing to joke about, so it'll be fascinating to see what the future holds. A lot of Salemites will participate in this Valentine's-themed occasion, so it'll worth tune in for. Obviously, John Black and Marlena Evans will choose to have a low-key Valentine's Day celebration at home, but this should be a sign of things to come. Steve Johnson can't stop the turmoil that's brewing because John's passed as the pawn is finally catching up to him. This is especially true given that Konstantin Meliunis is determined to cause trouble based on what he knows. On a lighter note, Stephanie will surprise Steve and Kayla Johnson at their anniversary breakfast, which will cause some awkwardness. It seems like Stephanie could attempt to accomplish something sweet and heartfelt for her folks, like bringing Kayla and Steve breakfast in bed. Stephanie might cause humiliation all around on the off chance that she strolls in on Steve and Kayla partaking in some morning energy. Different Days spoilers say Teresa Donovan will make a dazzling disclosure when she finds a wedding band. It turns out Teresa will coincidentally find the new bling in Alex Kiriaki's Wilson pocket, so she could track down it while doing a heap of clothing or something like that. The wedding day for Chanel Dupree and Johnny DiMera will come. Chanel and Johnny are set to secure the bunch once more, so they'll need to defeat any show that springs up en route to their authority remarriage. We likewise need to make reference to two things that actually haven't worked out yet from the DOL promotion included at Day of Days. The Horton house will burst into flames during February clears, and that is additionally when Harris Michaels will wind up genuinely injured in the wake of having Chance. Might those occurrences at any point really be associated? That relies upon who sets the blast and who pulls the trigger, yet we ought to maybe think about Everett Lynch a suspect for the two violations. There are a few clues that Everett could have a few secret mental issues connected with his trance state, so that is something to remember. Leo Obvious appears to be ready to release the report about Stephanie going through the night with Harris regardless of whether that evening was for the most part blameless. In the event that Everett has a parted character or power outages connected with those psychological issues we referenced, he could target Harris for vengeance. Regardless, somebody will without a doubt place Harris in the medical clinic and somebody will burn down the Horton home too once February clears is in progress.